Here are the top 5 things you need to know in US election. 1. FBI clears Hillary Clinton of wrongdoing. The FBI announced on Sunday that it stood by a previous decision to not charge Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton over emails related to her private server. The news lifted a cloud over Clinton's presidential campaign just 2 days before the US election and possibly blunted momentum for rival Donald Trump. Markets have tended to see Clinton as the status quo candidate. 2. Global stocks surge on hopes for Clinton win. Global stock markets surged on Monday, as fresh hopes that Hillary Clinton will win the US presidential election this week boosted appetite for riskier assets. US stocks pointed to a sharply higher open, with the S&P 500 futures jumping more than 1%, a gain that is likely to snap a 9-day losing streak, which is its longest in more than 35 years. Meanwhile, European stocks markets moved sharply higher as part of a broader global relief rally as confidence of a Hillary Clinton victory in the US presidential election grows. Earlier, Asian shares finished in the green, after the FBI said its fresh review of Hillary Clinton's emails won't lead to charges. 3. Mexican peso jumps in wake latest FBI conclusions. The Mexican peso soared 2% against the dollar, USD/MXN, in a sign that investors now believe a victory for Clinton over her Republican rival Donald Trump in Tuesday's election is now more likely. The Mexican currency, which has acted as a barometer of the market's perception of a likely Donald Trump victory, has been sensitive to developments in the election amid fears that a victory for Republican candidate Donald Trump could damage the country's economy. 4. Safe haven assets collapse on fading prospects of a Trump presidency. Demand for safe haven assets ebbed after the FBI said no new evidence was found to warrant charges against Hillary Clinton in the investigation of her emails just 2 days before the US election. The Japanese yen was down 1.3% at 104.45 against the dollar after surging to 104.63 in early trade. It had declined to 102.55 last week as polls showed a tightening US presidential race. Meanwhile, gold prices lost 1.3% to $1,286.95. Prices of the yellow metal rallied to a 5-week high of $1,309.30 last Wednesday, as investors were rattled by signs the US presidential election race was tightening. Global government bond prices also retreated, with yields on the 10-year US Treasury rising 2% to 1.819%, as risk appetite surged across the board. 5 UK government preparing new bill to trigger Brexit, Sky News. The British government is preparing the first draft of a new bill to trigger the formal procedure to leave European Union, Sky News reported on Monday citing sources. England's High Court ruled last week that Theresa May's government must get parliamentary approval to trigger Article 50 of the EU's Lisbon Treaty, a blow to the Prime Minister's plans to launch the divorce process by the end of March.